Hi everybody, it's me Jill and welcome to Jill Informed. This is the recap of the Real Housewives of Orange County, Season 13, Episode 4. Judge, Jury, and Gina. Oh God, you guys. This one's kind of funny. Super quick before I start the episode, I was just noticing for the first time when they do their taglines at the opening of the show that Vicki's just has Steve and Michael, her son, no Brianna's family. So I don't know if she's not gonna show up at all, or I don't know. Also, for the new girl Gina, her husband's not even in it. It's her 3 kids by themselves. Someone else brought this to my attention that whenever she's talking on the phone to her husband, we don't hear his voice. Usually we can hear the other person's voice. That guy won't even give us his voice. Okay, we start off with Tamra on a scooter. Vicki's taking her to the doctor's office to have her broken foot checked. And they're being stupid and silly in front of the doctor. But anyway, bottom line is where it's broken is kind of a slow healing situation. And so he told her that basically you have to stay off of it, because if there's too much vibration, it's not going to heal right, and then you're going to need surgery. So she has to be really, really careful with it. But she's not in a cast, just a boot. I was wondering about that. It seems like they could be more careful making sure it stays in place if it was in a cast, right? Okay, now we see Emily, and she is with her in-laws, her mother and father-in-law and her sister-in-law, and her little 5-year-old daughter, and they are going to work out together. Which seems strange to me, but I kind of love it. It's a healthy activity, and I think it's sort of nice that they're bonding like that, instead of, just having them over for dinner or something. After they work out and they're sitting around talking, the mother-in-law says something about Shane taking the bar. And then Emily said, well, I don't want to push him to do that. Apparently he took it and he failed it. And I'm thinking, what? I thought he was an attorney. And Emily, didn't you say he was your boss? Or I don't know, were you kidding about that? It was in air quotes, but I was so confused. Now, later we find out that he is an attorney in Utah, but he has not passed the bar in California. This brings up some other questions to me, like what does he do for a living right now in California? And if Emily has passed the bar in California, why is she the one that's home all the time with the kids and he's not? There's a lot of questions swirling around that family for me right now. All right, next, Kelly is meeting with Vicki to have coffee. It appears as though Kelly is the one that reached out to Vicki and told her that she wanted to talk to her. They met for coffee, and Kelly is basically stating her case again, saying, I know I'm divorced from him, that's fine, but the fact that I had to hear about you fixing him up with somebody else from somebody else, that hurt my feelings. You should have told me. She says, I think, to the confession cam that she thinks that when Tamra and Shannon came back into the picture for Vicki and started to be friendly with her again, Kelly thinks that's when she kind of pushed her to the side, and that she's been her loyal ride or die, but Vicki is a fair weather friend. You think? Whatever you do, do not set your moral compass according to Vicki Gunders, okay? Anyway, Vicki's like, I didn't like being screamed at, and I deserve respect. And Kelly goes, what? No, you don't. You earn respect. And Vicki shuts that down with, hang on a second, I'm going to have respect. Okay. Vicki thinks she's a mafia boss. And then, I don't know what happens. Kelly ends up forgiving her, but I think it's just because Kelly wants the conversation to be done with, and also because I think she fears that if she doesn't, she's not going to be on the show. Because the old gang is back together, and Kelly doesn't want to get pushed out. So I think she sort of feels like she has no choice but to forgive her. And she kind of maybe doesn't. I mean, to be fair, Vicki does apologize to her, but to the confession cam, Vicki says that she doesn't think she did anything wrong. So that right there tells you the apology wasn't sincere. And then after they make up, you can hear Vicki saying to her, and don't scream at me anymore. This is how Vicki Gunvalson ends every apology. If you recall, the big apology to Eddie and Tamra ended with her saying, well, you were mean to me too. Okay. So now she's ending this conversation with, will you not scream at me again? Because Vicki can't be wrong and she has to be the victim. All right, now we're at Shannon's house, and Shannon has come out with a new line of healthier, low-cal meals that are still flavorful. She wants to sell them on QVC, but they have to decide whether they taste good enough. That's going to determine whether they'll be on the air or not. So she has made like 3 or 4 of these different meals, and she calls her daughters into the kitchen to sample them. I would never call a teenager into the room on camera to taste your food, especially if it's healthy and especially if it's like fish. Anyway, it doesn't go over great. Let me just say that. She's got like sole, salmon, and I can't even remember what the other one was, but complimentary, but she's thought one was really spicy and it was the ginger in it, I guess. And then she's trying to ask the younger two, and Stella's kind of like making these faces, and Shannon's like, you've got to taste the salmon because there's cream cheese inside of it. And Stella's like, I don't like cheese. They do end up saying they think they're good. Yeah, Mom, I think they're good, and I think you'll get on the show. I mean, so they were kind of being sweet at the end, but more importantly, you could see the faces they were making when they were eating it. You took a risk I wouldn't have taken, Shannon. Now we see Gina. She's in the car taking the kids to the zoo, and her mother is visiting from Long Island. I'm not envying Gina's life, let me just say. It's yet another scene where the kids are running wild all over the place, and she's this single mom trying to make it all work. I'm gonna come clean right now and tell you that I am extremely hypocritical. Here's why. Every time Dorit was on screen, I used to make fun of the fact that it didn't seem like she had children because the nannies took care of them constantly. And then the one time they showed her at the park running after them, Jagga, come here, Jagga. I said it seemed like she was a babysitter meeting the kids for the first time. It was just so bad. I basically was making fun of her for not really even raising her own children. I may have even made a snarky comment that it seemed like she and PK only had partial custody. So here's why I'm such a hypocrite. I hate these scenes with Gina and her kids. Gina, as a single mom, trying to chase after these kids and do it all by herself. I want her to get a nanny so bad. Oh my God, you guys. I know. It's just more enjoyable for me as a viewer. And really, isn't it all about me? And you guys. But isn't it about us as the viewers? I would rather see her do ridiculous, silly things with the ladies at lunch than her spending all her days cleaning up after the kids and feeding the kids and taking them to the zoo and doing that. You know what? Here it is in a nutshell. I don't want my Real Housewives to be so real. Here's the poll question for the week. Do you like when the housewives really act like a housewife? Or do you want them to be unlike anyone you've ever met in real life? You pick, let me know what you guys think. I know what I think. I like my housewives crazy. Anyway, Gina has another conversation where she calls her husband while she's at the zoo. Gina, why are you calling him while the cameras are rolling if we can't even hear his voice? I feel like we're hiding something. Either they're just flat out separated, or there is no Matt, or, I don't know. But I'm not buying that they have a loving relationship. Matt's a great dad, but he lives in LA Monday through Friday. Something is very fishy. And I feel like I may need to get to the bottom of it. Okay, now we see Tamra and Shannon in a car together. It's nighttime. They're on their way to go have dinner. They were going to meet Emily and Gina at this restaurant, and that was going to be a chance for Shannon to get to meet the new girls for the first time. But 45 minutes earlier, Vicki called Tamra on the phone, and Tamra decided to invite Vicki. And then Vicki said, Kelly and I just made up, so I really don't want to go without her. Can we invite Kelly too? And Tamara's like, I don't care. Go ahead, invite her too. So they get to the restaurant. Before Vicki and Kelly get there, when it's just the four of them, Shannon does appear to be trying to get to know the girls and to like them. Although Tamra says Shannon doesn't like any of the new girls. And then we get a little montage of what Shannon was like when she first met Megan, and when she first met Kelly, and when she first met Lydia. And you know, it was not great. So she does, like I said, it seems like they're trying to make small talk, and she's attempting to get to know them. She doesn't really have a problem with Emily. We find out that Shannon also went to law school for a couple years and then dropped out. But Gina, she's struggling with a little bit. They were telling the other two girls about their time in Mexico and Tamra breaking her foot and in the hot tub, and that she was naked. And Shannon's trying to be funny, and she said, yeah, and I was in there with my Spanx on. And Gina said, oh, I hate Spanx. I refuse to wear them anymore. Something like that. To the confession cam, Shannon goes, oh, yeah, sure. Well, guess what? At age 33, I was rocking my natural body too, so there. Now Vicki arrives, and then Kelly, so everybody's there. And Vicki said to Gina, so you're from New Jersey, huh? And Gina's like, no. And she is clearly very offended. To the confession cam, Gina tries to downplay that because maybe she realizes that doesn't look good, that you're being snooty about not being from Jersey, that you're from New York. So she tries to pretend that it's not that she's thinks New York is any better than New Jersey. It's just that, I mean, it's a different state, people. Yeah, we believe that. I mean, it is a different state. I'm just saying, I don't believe that you don't think that your state is better than New Jersey. So Gina's not thrilled with Vicki. Vicki then said, oh, I'm sorry. How long have you been here? And Gina said 3 years. And she said, when we first moved here, we moved to Newport. And I no offense to anybody if they're from, I just can't. Of course, Shannon's from Newport. Okay. There's this like awkward, okay, Gina put her foot in her mouth. And she goes, oh, well, it was just tough for me. Why? Then Shannon tells the group that she is going to have her meals on QVC. I guess she got the call. And she's very excited about it. And I don't know, she says something like, now that I'm newly single. And Gina asked her if she was dating. And she said, no, not yet. I've been divorced for 6 months. And we just found out that my ex is dating someone 20 years younger than him. I don't know what that has to do with why she's not dating, but whatever. Gina had a weird expression on her face. I just think those two aren't really gelling. Anyway, Shannon goes on to say they're posting on social media, everything they do. And Vicki said, yeah, that is so bizarre to me, the social media stuff. And in case you forgot, Kelly was sitting at the table. Kelly said, you know what's bizarre? This one here fixed up my ex on a date with one of our other friends. Someone I know. Shannon and Tamra already know, of course, but so the new girls are like, wait, what? I think Tamra said, you were friends with her? And Kelly said, I knew her. I knew her too, yeah. Vicki's like, I thought we were done talking about this. Why are you bringing it up? Well, we know why she's bringing it up, and she confirmed it to the confession cam when she said, you know, Vicki thinks she's right all the time. I just wanted Vicki to hear some other opinions of what people think when they hear what she did. Kelly did get the reaction she wanted because the new girls were pretty mortified. So Gina says to Vicki, wait, you fixed him up? And now we're getting a third version of the story. Vicki says, well, Michael wanted to meet her. That's not what you said before. First, you said they just met organically. You had a barbecue. You had nothing to do with it. These two people happened to be there and they met. Then you told Shannon and Tamra in Mexico that your girlfriend came to you and said she would like to meet Michael. Now we have a new version where Michael wanted to meet your friend. Vicki, get your story straight. And Gina's like, so you facilitated that happening? I mean, the new girls were very vocal. Emily said, no matter what, whenever there's a divorce, there are always lines drawn and people have to pick a side. And you gotta stick with your girl. And Kelly's like, yes, thank you. She's a lawyer, she knows. And Gina goes, well, I'm not a lawyer, but I know that's just breaking girl code. Kelly goes, thank you. Oh, but wait, just when you're ready to go out and buy your Team Kelly t-shirts, hold up, because she pulls out her phone and goes, oh, you guys, this guy I'm dating, he's pulling in. He's a spine doctor. Nobody asked what he did for a living, Kelly. Somebody, Tamra, I think, said, he's coming here right now? Yeah, he's on his way in. Every one of these ladies is just looking at each other awkwardly, except for Vicki, who I swear to you, I will try to show you, has this smirk on her face, like, you guys all thought I was crazy. So now we all get to meet Rick Pacius, MD. This man walks in. And Kelly's like, hi, babe. Well, I'm not going to describe him. I will just show you. I can't, yeah. I don't know. I don't get it. So he sits down next to her at the table. What kind of guy walks into the restaurant and then sees that it's clearly a girls' night out and then sits down at the table anyway? You know what I mean? I know for a fact, even if I told my husband to come pick me up, that if he came in and saw that it was me with just a bunch of girls, he'd be like, hi, everybody, nice to meet you. I'll go wait for you in the car. I just think it's weird that he pulls up a chair and sits down. But it is not the weirdest part. He then says to Kelly, you look beautiful, babe. And they start making out. I mean, not just a peck on the cheek. They're just full on making out. To the point where none of the other ladies even know where to look or what to say or how to carry on a conversation. So finally they just get up to leave. And they're like, yeah, okay, well, we're gonna go. I think Emily kind of said something like, well, I think we'll just leave you two alone. At least she attempted to make it less awkward, but what the hell, Kelly? What are you doing? I don't get it. I know that it was like a last minute invite for Vicki and Kelly, but if you had a date, don't come. Or, hey guys, my boyfriend's here. I'm gonna have to cut this short. Say your goodbyes and go. No, she was proud of that old man. She wanted to show him off. So as they leave, Gina and Emily go into the bathroom, and then Vicki, Tamra, and Shannon are kind of outside in the parking lot talking. Vicki was pretty much ragging on Gina. And in the bathroom, Gina and Emily were just talking about Kelly bringing this guy and who does that kind of a thing. So the next scene is the next day, I guess, and Tamra is wheeling around in her house on her little scooter with sage in her hand, waving sage around the new house. So the doorbell rings and it's Gina. And Tamra said, listen, I'm not gonna lie. Vicki sent me a message this morning. And Gina goes, oh, and she hates me? And Tamra's like, yeah, she hates you. And Gina laughs. I love that Gina laughed. And she ends up by saying, you know what? She should be more afraid of me than I am of her. And Tamra goes, oh, Long Island in the house. Yeah. But I am happy that Gina's not afraid of, the OG, because Vicki's a bully. Now we see a boring scene with Emily. I'm worried about the new girls only insofar as whenever we see their scenes, it's boring. Now it's Emily talking to her husband, Shane, about taking the bar. And he said, well, I'm going to take it from me whenever I do take it. But I guess it's being offered in 2 months. He said there are other things that have to come into place first. So he's not going to take it in 2 months. The next time it's offered is like 10 months away. And that may probably be when he takes it. But, you know, Emily doesn't want to push him. And I don't know. It's weird. You know what I don't like? I don't like that for some reason it seems like Emily is afraid to, I don't know, like it wouldn't be her place to push Shane to do something because he's the man of the house or something. Also, you guys, I'm getting a weird vibe from Vicki with Steve. Just from a couple of the things that she said, like when she was in Mexico, and I'm not going to whoop it up because, you know, she's there with the girls and she's not going to do anything that Steve wouldn't like, and that doesn't seem like Vicki either. And so it's a little bit of a red flag maybe for me. I'm not sure. I mean, the jury's still out on that, but I'm getting a little bit of a feeling from Steve that maybe he isn't just like the sweet guy that we thought he was. Could he be a little controlling? As the season progresses, we'll see if that becomes more obvious or not. But just letting y'all know, I got a little feeling right now. Okay, the last scene of this episode is Gina meeting Vicki. I guess Gina actually called Vicki the day before and asked her if she wanted to go for a walk and talk about stuff. So they meet and they're going, they're walking along a trail, and Gina brings up, the situation at the dinner. And she said, I feel like maybe because it was brought up in front of everybody and as if they, it was open for discussion, maybe I was a little bit more vocal than I would have been otherwise. And Vicki tries to school her and basically says, my advice is next time, if it doesn't involve you directly, that you should probably stay out of it. Then Gina said something about girl code and that's your girlfriend. And Vicki said, well, that was my girlfriend that I fixed up Michael with, and she told me not to say anything. So if you're saying girl code, then you're telling me I did the right thing, that I shouldn't have said anything, so that I was sticking with girl code. And to the confession cam, Gina's like, okay, wow, I see what's happening here. Vicki just pulled a Jedi mind trick on me to make me seem like the bad guy and like she was doing the right thing. And she's like, all right, I will learn from the master. Then Vicki asks Gina how old she is, and she said she's 33. And Vicki said, oh, that's my daughter's age. You could be my daughter. And it's just so obvious that Vicki is doing this like alpha dog thing, She is putting Gina in her place. And Vicki says to the confession cam that it's her sandbox and she decides who gets to play in it. Okay. That is just Vicki being the mafia boss again. All right, that's where this episode ends. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked it. Please give this video a thumbs up if you did. And of course, if you haven't yet subscribed to Jill Informed, I would love it if you would do that as well and leave a comment down below. I love to hear your opinions. What do you think about Vicki and Gina? What do you think about Gina? What do you think about this new girl? Let me know in the comments down below. Okay, that's it, you guys. I hope to see you next Monday at 1 p.m. Central Time for the next recap of The Real Housewives of Orange County. Bye-bye.